Hello. My name is Pierce Boston, and this is my senior sermon. I'm weird. I've always been weird, and I will always be weird. This church and my parents have taught me that I'm weird, and that they are weird, and that's just how things work. It wasn't until I was about 9 or 10 years old that I realized that being weird wasn't typically considered to be a good thing, and that the word weird was more commonly used as an insult. I was on the playground during recess in 4th or 5th grade, and I was running up to my best friend in the whole entire world, Gabby, and I did this sort of jump stop. I ran towards her instead of stopping like a normal person. My weirdo self kind of jumped into place. So I jumped into place and said, "Do you want to go play?" And the boy next to her looks at me and he says, "You're weird." And I was crushed because no one had ever said it to me like that before. I mean, it wasn't like I hadn't been told I was weird before. My mother would tell me I was weird at least once every day. But she said it like this: "You're weird." She said it in a way that made it feel like she was actually saying, "I love you." I've known who I am for a very long time. I know what I like and what I don't like, what foods I enjoy and what I like to wear. My dad has taught me how to cook and bake, and he's shown me all the best movies and the best music. And my mom has taught me how to understand the inner workings of the complicated and terrifying jumble that is my own mind. I know what I believe in and what my values and morals are, and it's all because of you. This church, these people. I want to study religion and history in college because of my mother, and I want to study politics because I want to fix things. And I know that that may sound naive to many of you. I want to become a politician and save the world, but it's the truth. And it's been my plan for a long time, and it still is. I want to do something, help people, fix things, share a little bit of my luck with the rest of the world. I won the family lottery growing up with the parents that I have, with the grandparents that I have, and the church that I have. And I know a lot of people say that they have the best parents or the best family, but with me, I objectively have the greatest parents ever. They taught me everything I needed to know about life and informed me of all of the potential consequences of my actions. So now I literally have no way to rebel because I wouldn't ever do anything that they also wouldn't do. My mom has been my best friend my whole life, and I know my dad will always be there for me no matter what I need. I know I'm lucky, and I want to share my fortune with the rest of the world. Give other people a taste of what I've had my whole life. Most people spend their entire lives trying to figure out who they are, and a lot of people never even get far enough as to ask the question. And again, maybe it's a little naive of me to say, but I think I figured it out. I think I'm done. Now, I'm finishing high school and going off to college in Appleton, Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin. I found a place that I think is perfect for me. There's a little more than 1,000 students, so I'm not going to drown. The student-to-faculty ratio is 8-to-1. The classes are small and intimate. I won't be one of hundreds of faces in a lecture hall that the professor doesn't even know the name of. I'll get to take immersive religion classes that talk about culture and history, and I won't have to take calculus. But, most importantly, I can see myself there. When I looked at their website and when I visited the campus, I could actually see myself living in one of the co-ed dorms with a roommate that I haven't met yet, but I'm sure will be amazing. And honestly, I feel so prepared. I visited the campus, met some of the students, went to a mock first-year studies class, saw the residence halls and the lawn where I'm going to graduate in 4 years. Printed a little bit wrong. And frankly, although it is 852 miles north of here, it doesn't feel like a change. Maybe it just hasn't hit me yet, but it doesn't feel like I'm leaving. This isn't some long and arduous journey I'll be leaving on where I won't have any contact with any of my family for 4 years and I'll come back a totally different person. I'll only actually be gone for less than 30 weeks a year, leaving 22 weeks where I'll be back here. That's 40%. Yes, I did the math. I told you I was weird. 40% of the year that I'll be home with my family and with you. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to change all that much. I'll be smarter for sure and maybe a little bit wiser, but like I said, I already know who I am. I am me because of you, and that will always stay the same. And for those of you wondering, my grandparents, I have no idea what career I may enter, and I feel okay about that. The career services at Lawrence are with you from day one, and I have no doubt that by the time that I'm done with college, I'll know what my next step is. And also, I'm not all that worried about being far from home either. My best friend, who I mentioned earlier, and my little sister both moved to different states, and I honestly don't think my relationships with them have changed very much. Gabby is still my best friend, my parabatai, and nothing is going to change that. Audrey is and forever will be my little sister, even though she now lives in Normal, Illinois. And hey, Appleton's only 4 hours away. Distance will not ruin relationships that are going to last. If the pandemic gave us nothing else, it taught us ways to stay in touch despite our isolation. I've learned so many different ways to spend time with other people and connect without having to be physically near one another. There's FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, texting, phone calls, Discord, there's online games, and no matter what, you can always send your mother funny penguin videos. I acknowledge that the suggestion that I'm done completely juxtaposes the entire theme of this year's Youth Sunday, work in progress. Of course, I know I will continue to evolve and grow, improve the me that is already finished. I used to hate it when people would say that the only constant in the world is change, and I still do. But I've finally accepted that that is true, and the only thing that will never change, is the fact that everything changes. But I've also realized that this next statement is equally as true. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But I'm weird like that, and so are you. You're weird.
Every time I sing Youth Sunday,
I've always been so in awe of all the sermons, all the confident and amazing seniors up here. I would sometimes imagine myself up here and speaking at this all-powerful podium, and now I'm here, and it's unbelievable that I actually am. My childhood has really passed by, and I'm glad I spent so much of it here at All Souls. It's making me all nostalgic, and I want to tell you my most favorite memories here. So let's start with how I got here. After my family moved to Tulsa from California, my mom wanted a religious community to be a part of, and she found one that was near our old house. It was a Baptist church in South Tulsa. I have vague memories of it, but the reason we left was because one day, when my parents had asked my brother how his day was after Sunday school, and he told them his newfound wisdom that how being gay would send you straight to hell. And I'm glad my mom found All Souls before I had to learn that. My family loves All Souls. Like, my dad's not even religious, and he loves this church. I used to run through these halls with my mom trailing behind me, and I would demand her to hurry up and sign me in so I could go to training day school, to play with whoever would play with me and whatever was in arm's reach. The daddy-daughter dances, Halloween parties, and tree trimming parties have always been a core memory that I think of when the holidays come around. And I can't forget about the fact that I've been in choir for almost as long as I could sing the ABCs. I've grown up with such great influences that it feels like All Souls has sculpted me into such a mature young woman, and I couldn't have asked for a better church to grow up and be a part of. I remember my coming of age credo. I had made it all about fairy tales and that life is full of such wonderful and magical things, and that I was cursed by a witch to not believe in God. And that's still the case, but that was really before all the scary parts of my fairy tale was about to be written. The climax of that story was the big bad divorce, and it really huffed and puffed and blew my life down. Even though it's a huge impact in my life, I think I'm going through it pretty well. None of my parents had the troll under the bridge, and they're still the king and queen of the land of my life, and I'm the princess. But that's enough of the fairy tale talk. I'm an adult now. Woohoo! That's still weird to say. Something you need to know about me is that I've always been the type of person that If there's something that needs to be done or I have to do, I need to do it by myself, on my own way, and on my own terms. And if someone tries to help me, I'll say, I'm fine, or I've got this, or hey, just back off. But believe me, that now I may have finally realized that we always need somebody, and that it can make ourselves stronger than what we give ourselves credit for. I remember when I got a friendship bracelet maker for my birthday one year, and when my mom yelled from upstairs to my room if I needed help with the instructions, which I didn't read, and threw to the side, never to be seen from again, and I don't even know if I could read by then. And I remember replying with, no, I do. And it wasn't until a couple years later I was able to make a friendship bracelet at Girl Scout camp. My mom still jokes about me saying, I do, in that exact voice, and always talking about how I was so independent at such a young age. And that's still true to this day. But that's not how humans were made. We're social creatures. With the pandemic, we lost a part of our social lives, and now we're finally getting it back. I'm loving the normal feeling of life returning, traveling, school, friends. It finally feels like my life might be coming back to normal. But then there's college. I don't know what that has in store for me, but I'm ready for it. College will be long and hard since I'm wanting to go for a doctorate in pharmacy. I'll be starting at TCC next summer for 2 years, then transferring to university to finish out that degree. I'm a little nervous about it, but I know I can set my mind to do anything. I'd like to quote my brother, and when I say quote, I mean steal his joke, on what he said during his credo in senior sermon. During his credo, he said, I think that a drunk man on the shore saw Jesus standing on a boat fishing and swore that he was walking on water, which I think is the best way you can understand what kind of guy my brother is. And if that doesn't sound like a logical guy who's wanting to be an engineer, just listen to what he said during his senior sermon. Is it morally okay to like cold pizza?
No.
I'm saying it, Colin. I'm saying it. If you're wondering, my opinion on the matter of cold pizza is I believe that pizza should be served warm. And this is what you said. I'm just still quoting you. And the idea of eating cold pizza is an American concoction that we didn't need to mess with. Most Americans have a microwave. Use it. And eat pizza how it's supposed to be eaten. That was word for word. And if you're wondering, and if that doesn't change your opinion about him, good or bad, I don't know what will. And yes, I fully agree with him. We were raised right. Thanks, Mom and Dad. On the topic of family, I love both my parents very much. They have always been there during the most important parts of my life. All my highs and lows, all the musical performances, all my academic achievements, all the sports I've done, and meeting all my boyfriends. You know, all the important things to a girl growing up. No matter what obstacles I go through in adulthood, I know that they'll always be there for me, and I'll always be there for them. Thank you.
My name is Locke Edwards, and this is my senior sermon. So the theme for this Sunday is work in progress, and for me, I think this video I'm about to show represents just that. Over the past few years, scootering has been not only an incredible physical and creative outlet for me, but it's been a way to build a community that really feels like a second family. During the height of the pandemic, online schooling and the isolation that comes with that really took a toll on me, and the only thing that really kept me sane was going out and riding my scooter every day. With how much the sport and the friends I've met through it meant to me, I decided to get more serious about documenting it. When I started, I barely knew how to film, so getting the angles to look right and understanding the camera was definitely a work in progress. Not to mention, I had no idea how long it would take to complete. So, I temporarily titled it Hard Hat because it was under construction. But by the time I was wrapping up, filming and editing the video, I felt like it actually fit really well. You may notice I'm not in the video much, but I'm behind the lens of every clip, which is kind of where I like to be because it gives me a chance to show other people things the way I see them. But yeah, so I can play the video now. It messed up the frame rate on the projector, so sorry you have to see it that way, but you'll get the idea.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Break out the waves! Get back, just like that! No reason to calm down! told stories.